The moon card is the final test. So as that sword, you've been in and out of the fire. The Hanged Man took you in there. The Devil card took you in there. The Tower card took you in there. And now we are to the Moon card. And the Moon card is like when you finally put the finishing touches on a sword. And the ancient swordsmiths that made the samurai swords believed that they wanted to put the magic of the swordsmith actually in the sword. And what they did was they heated up the metal and they put their fingerprints and their lip prints on the hot metal. They believed when they did that, they imbued or breathed life actually into the sword. So when you get the Moon card, you need to remember that you are at the final test, and you may not realize you're at the final test, but it's kind of like in the monster movies where the monster has to rear its head one final time after you think the monster is gone and you start to relax, and it lurches forward suddenly, and there's one final moment where you have to keep your composure, trust yourself, and find your way to the next level. And that's what this card represents. I also like to think of this card as in Lord of the Rings, where they're at the gate to the dwarf kingdom. And over the door is a riddle, and it's in Dwarfish, and it says, "Speak, friend, and open." And the riddle is so simple that nobody can figure it out for a minute, because all they need to say is the word for friend in Dwarfish. So I remind myself when I get this card that the universe is testing my inner strength one last final time to see if I'm going to collapse into my old way, or if I'm going to have learned the lessons from the other cards and step to the next level. And sometimes the answer is simple, like the riddle. So when you look at this card, you can see that there are two Anubis that are holding open the gateway to the underworld. I want you to notice that they have keys in their hand, because it's always an indication that when you have a final test, sometimes it's very important to have certain keys or tools or skills to be able to barter your way or navigate your way or manipulate your way to get to the next place. But this card is also very much about going internal. And so the card looks like the opening of the feminine vagina. And so there is this mystery that is always inside, which is related to the birthing of life itself. You will also see that at the gate, at the feet of the gate of the Anubi, are actually the two jackals also. So you have the jackal-headed gods and you have the jackals. So there are fears that you still have to face here. You still have to pass some tests to be able to enter into the sacred underworld. Down below, you will see these waves right through here. And Aleister Crowley lived at the time where they had just discovered EKGs and EEGs. And so these waves indicate the subtle hidden rhythms and messages that the body is giving off if you are aware that that subtlety and rhythm is actually there. You will also see that there is the ancient Egyptian sign of the scarab. And the methodology of the scarab, the mythology of the scarab, was that the scarab looked like it was taking camel dung, weaving it into a ball, and suddenly life would spring from it. And of course what it was doing was it was using the dung ball in order to plant its eggs, and then new life came out of death. And so this card represents that there is new life coming. There's new life in a very subtle realm being birthed or coming forward. When you look at this card, it's got the symbol of Pisces, and Pisces is the sign of the old man. Pisces is the sign of wisdom. It's associated with Jesus Christ, and so it's sensitive, it's emotional, and it's compassionate. So when you are standing at the last gate, the final test, it is always very, very wise to hold a great deal of compassion for yourself and everyone around you.